Hello, guys. A very happy Monday. And more importantly, a very happy 4th of July to my American friends. Purple is still a little bit croaky, so apologies. But it is so good to see everybody. And most importantly, it is great to see Salty Texas and Prophet of the Dragon. How are you doing, guys?
Good. I'm great. How are you? You sound a little sniffly.
Oh, yes. a little bit.
Congratulations are in order for Prophet of the Dragon, dude.
Oh, yes.
You have been accepted into YouTube's partner program.
Finally,
Congratulations, officially.
Yes, officially this morning. So now I get to be confused like everybody else. I was trying to go through some of it. I'm like, okay, I just turn on everything. Let's go.
Look at all the beautiful people you have in the chat, Purple Valkyrie. This is such a great fellowship. Hail to everybody. Happy 4th of July from Texas. Seriously.
Absolutely. It's great to see everybody today. We've got Manowar 665. Hello. We've got the MVP himself, Maxwell Van Priestley.
Oh, yeah.
Great to see you. Let's see. We've got Adega. Hello, Adega. Good to see you. David Webb. Good afternoon or good evening, nearly for us. Emotionally unstable amphibian. Still love that name. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Good to see you. Silverlock. Happy 4th of July. Great to see just another red shirt as well. And I saw Gun Bunny in earlier as well. Good to see you. Hey guys. Hope you're having a good day. Hope everyone's having a safe and happy 4th of July.
I don't intend to, but I'll say I will just for your... I don't know about the safe part. There may be some bad decisions after maybe a drink or two.
Yeah, well, I've slept through my whole morning, so starting out good. The first half in bed, second half, who knows what trouble I'm going to get into, but
yeah,
I'd say that's a pretty good day, to be fair.
There's worse, right?
So I did a live stream last night. I wasn't intending to. Thanks to everybody who showed up and who's seen it. And a big shout out to Zach7, who broke a story that was very consistent with what we saw with the influencers. Now, I don't know if you want to get into that toward the end of the show, Purple Valkyrie, but I know you had some crazy other news that dropped around Amazon's Rings of Power.
Yeah, so I was watching your stream last night. Obviously, couldn't watch it live because I was asleep, but well done, guys. Fantastic coverage. And before we kind of jump into the stuff that I've kind of uncovered, and I wanted to see, it's the stuff that we've missed because we were looking for stuff to do with Rings of Power, and we were thinking, we're less than 2 months away now. We're expecting it to really kind of ramp up, and we found a few interesting tidbits. But fantastic stream you guys had yesterday. Well done.
All credit to Zax for doing all of his India cinema videos. Otherwise, he would have never found it. YouTube thought he was there. He is.
Yeah,
YouTube would have probably never shown us what appears to be. It's just weird. And if you want to, we'll watch it later. But it's so cringe. It's so low effort cringe.
Well, it is, and there's got to be more. There's got to be. Like I obsessively started looking like while we were talking, like during the stream, like Germany, Australia. It's like I know there's Prime all over. Like there's all kinds of different Prime channels. So I'm just like, and then even after the stream, I think I spent an hour looking around. I was like, there's got to be something here, right? Because I want to see Zach's screen filled with like 6 or 7.
I know. I know.
So it's terrible. I don't understand what they're doing or what they're thinking.
I know.
That was going to be my question for you guys. Do you think that there's going to be more of them? Because there was with the previous super fans. So do you think we're going to get like a German version, a French version? Do you think there's down the line?
We talked about it last night, and I know you have another article related to actual Comic-Con merchandise related to the Rings of Power, which is cringe.
It's like a mythical animal. There's Rings of Power merchandise.
It's like somebody's using PowerPoint to create a Tolkien thing. It's like, what are you doing? But to answer your question, I mean, one of the I saw when I woke up this morning, you had tweeted at me that you were looking at all of the different European Amazon sites on Twitter as well as in other sources, trying to see what there was. And so far, it does not appear that in South or Central America or Asia or Europe, they seem to not be dropping these. And again, what was crazy with what we saw with an India Amazon Prime targeted ad, it would look just like New Jersey. Same people, same background, Americans.
They didn't even change anything on the bus.
It was in all in English.
Yeah.
The book was in English. All the signs were in. It's just like,
there has to be
really?
more.
You know?
There has to be more. There is no way that India and America that's it. I mean, I think Zach's proved it from what he was talking about. These are not easy to find unless you have a few specific keywords, and it's not, the American one, you had to have the elf, whatever it was, in there.
Yes.
India has, if you look, I of course, because I can't remember 2 seconds ago, I forgot what the keyword was for India, but they have a whole bunch listed like that. So these are hiding out there. I bet they're out because they're just little commercials. So they're not posted on their main sites. At least it doesn't seem like it. So they're out there. I can't wait for them to show up. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And just like we saw, remember we covered it purple on my show with Max and Zax and I think Gray for the Portuguese market. They were using washed up soap opera stars. To do yet another generic commercial about a generic fantasy show, which just happens to have Tolkien's names. Do you want me to pull up that Comic-Con article?
Yes.
Okay.
So kind of the lead into this, we've just got back from the Fan Expo in Dallas, and one of the main things and points that we were talking about, and we've talked about on different streams, was that there was absolutely no advertising for this upcoming Amazon Lord of the Rings. Now, there was Lord of the Rings, but it was the Peter Jackson version of the Lord of the Rings that they put on the lanyards and on the bags. And we were just saying how bizarre this was. This would have been a perfect opportunity for them to really kind of capitalize and really push the idea that there is this new show that they kind of really should be wanting people to watch. But we do actually have, thank you, Salty, for San Diego Comic-Con 2022, they actually have the badges now revealed.
They're so dumb. They're so lame. I don't mean to ruin it. Just they're so stupid. Really.
I like being. I haven't seen much. I saw a little bit, so I'm in my normal confused state. So I'm ready for this. I get to see it live, just like you guys. I'm ready. I'm on the edge of my seat. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It is crazy. So they kind of lead in talking about, when will badges be shipped? Because obviously San Diego Comic-Con is in about 2 weeks' time. And generally they're kind of lax when it comes to shipping out their badges. But the main takeaway is that they have the Lord of the Rings Rings of Power design on them this time. And Salty, if you'd like to scroll down and give us the big reveal, we can see. Yeah. That's it.
Ta-da!
I wish I could claim that I'd done that for the thumbnail, but literally all I'd changed was the what it said on the bottom.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Well, I mean, to me, it looks like some dystopian piece. You know what it looks like? It looks like the thing that the Cylon, when they were in the miniseries, that when the Cylon broke up a piece of steam pipe, and I forget, right, it was at Ragnarok Anchorage or whatever it was, and he hit Adama with it. That's what it looks like. It doesn't look like a sword. It doesn't look like anything.
The biggest problem I have is it's obviously a sword, right? I mean, it's supposed to be Sauron's sword or what, like, or the.
Well,
wasn't
this what Theo was holding? Like, I thought this is what Theo, another made-up character, was holding.
Yeah.
Okay, so why do I care about this sword? I don't know it at all. It's like the trailer showing me people and it's expecting me to know who they are. If I'm because I don't know as much of Lord of the Rings as probably half the people here. Maybe probably all the people here. I don't know that much about Lord of the Rings except for movies and some of the books, right? I've read the books a long time ago, but I don't know this sword. I don't know what this is supposed to. It looks, and it doesn't even.
There's no ring. I mean, there's no ring. There's no characters from the show. Even the made up ones. There's no warrior Gladriel. It's just this. It really does like some industrial wasteland smokestack that you would find in the Rust Belt.
Yeah.
Awesome work, guys. Really, you guys keep hitting it out of the park over there at Amazon.
They could be selling pieces of a sword too. It's like what like disintegrating ugly concept art for a sword. Okay. I feel it. No, I don't.
And it's kind of weird because the badges we got for the Fan Expo were actually really well done. They had some really beautiful art on there. Nothing to do with Lord of the Rings, but they actually looked really well done. But these just look like they've been kind of knocked together really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't appear there's going to be any Rings of Power lanyards or anything else like that. They literally, to me, this looks like somebody created a Monopoly, like a custom Monopoly game, like they do. They do Pugopoly and like
You've landed
National
on
Park Monopoly. Yeah, this is the Rings of Poder, the anus of Poder, to use my Portuguese. This is the anus of Poder Monopoly. That's apparently what we're doing here.
Yeah,
so,
you want to buy. You've landed on Mordor. You want to buy it for $400. If you get Gondor, you can get a Monopoly, right? I mean, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and I'll give this to you, Purple, because this we would guess this is the sword that they represented with.
This is the hilt, that they keep teasing us with.
Another made up character.
Like they just, I don't know, man. Like why can't they make props anymore? Why can't like? It's such a terrible looking sword hilt too. The hilt looks terrible.
They're really pushing this hilt because this was put on one of the books as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Is it so? Is this like? Is there another like? I thought Narsil was the big. Obviously, I don't know much about the Second Age, if anything. But like, is there another special sword out there? Like,
it's the one that only Payne and McKay could write. Steve, you racist foe.
Is this Excalibur? Sorry.
So there you go. I mean, they don't even have cool lanyards. This is it. I mean,
I guess we kind of got what we asked for when we were kind of ragging on them for not promoting it, but I'm pretty sure any of us could have put together a better image for them. But this is San Diego Comic-Con. This is supposed to be the premier convention.
Yeah, it's the big one, right? Yeah, it's the big one.
It's not for color process. Again, why wouldn't you have a series of badges running with a series of characters the ones you made up so that people would want to collect them? That would be or even if the show sucked, people would still like trading cards. Yeah, you can really tell that these people have no idea what to do with a fandom, what fandom wants, or even if your show sucks, some of us probably would still want to collect each one of the individual badges just to have as a memento. Or even, instead, we get this. You know what this looks like? This looks like a PowerPoint presentation for OSHA safety, like how not to chop your head off while making coffee in the office. That's what this looks like.
Well, it's like we better do something. So let's find. We got a piece of undone clip art. Let's throw it on a label. It's like you're absolutely right. These should be trading cards. You should have all different lanyards with all different designs. You'd have people walking around interacting, going, "Oh, hey, look, that's your lanyard is different than my lanyard. Mine has this design." And then people want to collect them, buy them, trade them. It's. I don't understand. I like even if I don't understand. I don't get it. How there's not multiple versions of this of good artwork on some. I don't get it. I don't get it.
And even in the comments below, people aren't talking about the actual Lord of the Rings. They're commenting how cheap it looks and the fact that after 2 years that this convention has been down because of what's been going on. It looks like they've cheaped out. There's no hard plastic, which we had for the Dallas Expo. They were really they're just paper inside this sleeve. So people are really disappointed with what they're getting. And
just paper too?
It's just paper. Yeah, it's just a little paper that you slip inside that plastic sleeve.
Yeah, Build Back Better. There you go.
So they literally made them in a copier and sent them out.
Pretty much. Or haven't sent them out, as the case may be, because people are still waiting for their badges.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. and it's a cheap, flimsy cover. There's, again, no real branding. I'm going back to the Dallas Fan Expo simply because I wanted to try and pull up some of the badges and stuff.
I'm more
Now I
interested
can't
in
find it.
the
So
Misfits shirt on the side looked better than I was looking more at that than the badge.
yeah, and of course it's important to note for San Diego Comic-Con. I'm only on my 4th cup of coffee. Give me a break. It's important for San Diego Comic-Con. Of course, they're going to make you.
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes,
God.
that is the other big issue as well,
Well,
which
we
I'm
all
very
know-
glad that Dallas didn't do.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Well,
Good luck.
we all know what San Diego means, right?
Yeah.
A whale's
Oh.
vagina, right?
Wow, I was not expecting that. It's like we have Flaccid Phoenix. We have Flaccid Phoenix in the house.
Isn't that what it means? I saw it at a movie once.
Sure. Yeah. Of course that's what it means, Steve. I forgot. Yeah, that right. Yeah. But yeah, that was just weird, and it's totally cringe, and it makes absolutely no sense. And let's see. I know we have another article. Do you want me to go to that one as well?
Yes,
Purple?
please. Yeah, so still sticking with the San Diego Comic-Con. At least this time we actually have a panel about it. Now, they haven't really given us a lot of information, but let's see what they've got to say. So, we have got the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power will journey to San Diego Comic-Con, which is, kind of what you'd expect, and I'm guessing there's going to be more kind of information given out the closer we get to it, and once the panel we'll get probably some more information. But it says there and back again, the upcoming Prime Video series Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power will be journeying to San Diego Comic-Con next month. The series is getting a Hall H panel featuring the showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, and in quotations, stars.
Who is going? Who is going to the San Diego Comic-Con? Max, are you going? Is anybody else in California? I would give real money for somebody to stand up and ask these people questions that we all ask on YouTube to see what will happen, because I have the feeling security is going to be a little more brusque on this, and that you're probably going to have to write your questions down.
Yeah,
they're going to
I'm
screen them.
serious.
They're going to
It'll
screen
be
them.
pre-screened.
Absolutely.
It's not like we saw when we were at Dallas Fan Expo. I know Purple, when we went to go see Billy Boyd, and I know what Billy Boyd just did in that fucking thing he just signed, but I still thought he was a good Hobbit. And then, of course, when we also saw the night before Christmas panel, where they just let people come up and ask their questions, and they answered them organically. I don't think they're going to let anybody near Payne and McKay in the show. No way.
No, I think this is going to be much more controlled. As you say, these are going to be pre-vetted, pre-certified, and yes.
Well, I
don't think shills only, probably.
Yeah, pre-vetted, I think is probably they're gonna do because I think they're gonna be real careful, because it's easy just to write down your question and then just go up and ask another question. They're gonna be it's going to be a screening process to get up there and say something, I would think. But I'd be surprised if it wasn't. It would be great. You could get some great stuff if it's not.
Everything has to be controlled with this. Do you guys think there's going to be a bunch of fan slates, same ones that I'd say many of us as YouTubers have been either attacked by or blocked by, that went to England and got to see the selected, trimmed footage, that they're all going to be there essentially acting as mouthpieces for this as well? Because that's what I think is going to happen. There's going to be more influencers, meaning artificially created fans.
Yes, I would imagine also they might actually show the footage that was shown to those influencers, perhaps, now that they've been sitting on it for a while. But it also says in this article, there's no word on which celebrities will be in attendance, so we don't even know which or who of the cast is actually going to be there.
They're all afraid,
considering this is two weeks away.
They're afraid. They don't want to. They're not sure what to do.
I bet you they're going to have Sir Lenny Henry, because that's how they look at this. I know, I'm not a fan either, but because I mean, like we saw in the Vanity Fair article from February of this year, the Hobbits aren't supposed to be there. they're playing the semantic game of they're hobbits, but we're going to call them Harfoots because we're hacks. And now, I mean, like they said, can you imagine a Tolkien story without hobbits? And of course, those of us who read, even at a high level, God, that book, the Silmarillion.
Silmarillion, yeah.
Yeah, shut up. Yeah.
I got it.
All right, you want to carry the show? Go ahead, Steve. You're just gonna make fun of it? I'm gonna find you and beat. Yes, I can't say that's that word. So, but where I'm going with that is they're going to throw things up there to try and just hit the icon buttons. It's post-it note Tolkien. We're like, oh, the kids like the Hobbit, and oh, the kids like the Gladriel, and oh, the kids like the Gandalf, and oh yeah, there are wizards in this world, even though there aren't supposed to be, and all this other stuff. So they're just going to throw, again, like I called it in one of my videos, counterfeit Tolkien characters into their counterfeit Tolkien show at this panel. And they're going to convince everybody with their grift that it's not counterfeit.
Do you think that any of these panels will be broadcast? Because sometimes from San Diego Comic-Con, especially the really big panels, we get to see, if not the entire thing, then at least clips taken from it.
I mean, I think if they let people tape them, there's going to be all over YouTube. I mean, usually that's what happens. I mean, I don't know if there'll be an official. I mean, they'd be smart to do it because everybody's on YouTube is going to be doing it unless they try and shut down phones. So it would be smart for them to broadcast them. Well, I mean, I say that,
phones
but
at the door.
Right. Yeah. So I say it'd be smart, but until you see the actual panels and how bad they are, and how much you just cringe watching them talk about some of these things, it's going to get out there. So they might as well just broadcast them. So I would think they do something, but obviously they don't plan too far ahead since they just figured out they needed to make Rings of Power badges that look like garbage.
We used to joke like why are they not releasing stuff? And it's like, well, they're afraid to show us stuff. Now I'm starting to wonder, are they really incapable of releasing stuff? Because whatever complicated ESG score corporate insanity it goes on in Amazon with this show, that much like there are 27 producers and how many writers on this, that it's literally this behemoth of complexity can't get out of its own way. It's like, is that part of it?
It's got to
I think it's a case of too many cooks in the kitchen.
18 checklists. Like, okay, this trailer's ready, and they go through 18 people. It's like, nope, you missed this part. They got to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, well, let's make sure we inject this in there too. Are we even getting a trailer at San Diego do we know? Like an actual
they're not going to tell us. They're not going to. It's not in the article.
There's no word of a trailer.
No,
we're getting a new version of riding a bus to a cosplay.
Yeah, we will. I mean, I talked about it last night, and I think we should look at it at some point. But yeah, what I found troubling about this is that there were only boys. Those boys, there's no apparently girls, women. Yes, I'm using gendered language because I'm not a moron. Girls, and there were no girls or young women apparently in this, and in the Amazon marketing approach, which I don't get any of this. Can we be really honest about it? So, yeah.
It is very bizarre, and if I remember correctly, Hall H is one of the larger halls that they have. So this is going to be one, if they fill the hall, one of the biggest panels there. I would be curious to see if they do actually manage to fill the hall, if there is that much interest in this. Guaranteed, if it does ever get broadcast there and they don't fill the hall, they're not going to pan round to the audience.
Yeah. Have cardboard cutouts of the actors in the crowd, right?
Yeah.
Fellowship, stuck.
You got Frodo out there cut out,
They should just hire more diverse TikTok influencers to populate all the seats and sit there and go, like trained seals,
everyone's
not knowing what the
swinging
hell
their
they're
badges,
watching.
Oh my gosh.
We have that. Just let me know when you want to take that other article, Purple Valkyrie.
This should be like how not to advertise seminar, right?
Which one would you like to bring up? Because we've got a couple.
You tell me.
Well,
you've got the dialect coach.
Yeah, the dialect coach. Let's bring that one up. Thank you.
More dialect coaches.
More dialect coaches, because that's exactly what we needed. Absolutely. Thank you. There we go. So this one was a bit an odd one that I came across when I was just searching for things. And we know, and everyone who has read Tolkien knew how important language was to him. It was something that he was passionate about. But apparently one of the ways that they are honouring Tolkien's work is by having a dialect coach and really focusing on the different languages. So Elvish, Dwarvish, Orcish, that's going to be a really big focal point in this show, apparently.
I want to make so many jokes right now, but I can't because this is not my channel. And do you think they're going to have like language that is deliberately, let's say, more urban, and then you have the more rural?
Stop it.
Because that's intersectionality, right? Like there's slang Tolkien. Maybe there'll be a rap battle. I don't know.
Dude, if another elf calls another elf dude, I'm out.
I know. Bro,
that sword is cool, bro.
Yeah. Well, that's what they did in that Disney Hulu Prey trailer, if we're honest about it. The California surfer inflection for a Native American tribe. Anyway, whatever.
Let's go wreck some orcs. What the hell is happening?
So this is a bit of a weird one, so I'll kind of go into it a little bit more. So this is from a dialect coach who is apparently a massive fan of J.R.R. Tolkien. She's UK born but now lives in Australia, and basically she is on set as a dialect coach for the cast of Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. So she is the one supposedly behind being able to teach the cast how to pronounce and how to speak these very complicated languages that Tolkien came up with.
So this is who we blame when it sounds weird. Is that what I'm taking for when it sounds completely weird and off? It's like it's her fault. The dialect coach. It's crazy. Oh my goodness.
And just another red shirt. Yeah, he says, I'm glad the editor put scare quotes around honouring his work. You're not wrong.
Honoring the source.
The source
material. Yes.
We've sort of read it. Yeah.
So it's one of the examples she gives is the intricacies of a Quenya, a dialect of elves that's like Elvish Latin in the Third Age, but commonplace in the Second Age when the Rings of Power takes place. She says you can do so many, you can, as so many do, spend your entire scholastic and professional life focusing on one form of Elvish. Macpherson tells in verse. It has potency and power. It's spoken with care. I don't know, guys. Is anything about this Lord of the Rings got to do with care?
Oh,
no.
This? No. Good Lord.
Well, they're very carefully hitting their ESG scores. They're very carefully picking the most diverse and representation that they can to hit those ESG scores. And they're also very carefully picking what insults they're throwing at us, those of us who loved the original source material, those of us who have a problem with the mutilation of the lore from the Second Age, and of course, those of us who go, this doesn't look like Peter Jackson's masterpiece of a trilogy. So I think that's where their care is going, to be honest with you.
Yes, absolutely. And she also goes on to talk about the Dwarfish language. So she says the Dwarf language, meanwhile, strikes a balance of both unique hearty quality. She says these people are connected to the earth, to stone in particular.
Oh, Jesus, look at this. I didn't see this. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Scroll down.
That dude is like, back off.
What the hell? What the hell am I looking at? Is this Duran at the dentist? Is that what we're doing here? Stop with this. Stop with all of this bullshit. You guys are ridiculous. This is again, everything is a virtue signal. Everything is just ridiculous, over the top. Everything has a narrative. It's disgusting to me. It really,
the poor actor's like, are we done with this photo so I can get back to work? Like, it's like, this is just clearly a photo op. It has nothing to do with her teaching him anything.
Well, the look on his face says to me, Jesus, I wish I'd just get like a recurring guest spot on Murder, She Wrote. I don't want to do this, you know?
It's like, I was told I could be a dwarf. Can I just be a dwarf? Can you leave me alone, please? Like, I'm going to mirror myself after Gimli. That's it. Let's go. Next.
Here's another thing. As a linguist, as someone who is teaching someone to speak, one of the most important things you can do is watch the lips and the mouth. Now, if you're wearing that face diaper, how the hell can you get a sense of how to form words in Elvish and in Dwarvish? I'm sorry, that's me being an istophobe and misogynist and supporting the patriarchy, and apparently I want to kill grandma. That's apparently all I do. This is so you guys, this is the world we live in. This is the world we live in.
It does look like a hockey jersey. He's right.
It does look like, you're right, Cyclops, and good to see you, Cam as well. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is because, as fans, we've leveled a lot of criticism at the moment, and rightly so, that they're not taking this seriously. They're not really using Tolkien's work. Do you think that they've put this out and hired this dialect coach to kind of mitigate that, to show that they're trying to take his work seriously, or give the impression that they're trying to take it seriously?
Yes. The impression. I don't think they're paying attention to all the wrong things. It's one of those, and it's like, just let the actors act. If they need a little bit of assistance, then direct them, but let them act. And it's like, I'm pretty sure that oh man, I can't remember who God, whoever did Gimli. Anybody that was in the first
John
one.
Rhys Davies.
John Rhys Davies. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That poor guy. I mean, allergic to everything, and still putting in the best rendition of a dwarf I've ever seen. Right. Just let them go. Give them a little direction. Let the actors act. If you have quality people acting, they know the material. Let them go. Give them an idea what they're supposed to be doing. That gives me that picture there gives me the impression, especially the look on his face, looking at her like, can you F off, please? It's like, I'm an actor. You hired me to act. Give me a little direction and let me go, please. Just leave me alone.
He's trying to read her lips. He's doing what you do when you go when you go to a speech pathologist, when you go to anybody. I mean, again, the human face, especially young children, it is so important to be able to read facial expressions, also to form language so that you can actually bond and understand social cues. Now, because of this insanity we're seeing on the screen, there's actually an entire generation of young children who don't know how to do that. In this case, however, you have a linguistic coach teaching someone to try and say phonetically Dwarvish. How that would be like going, yes, I'm like do Dwarvish. Do Dwarvish. No, look at my lips. Do Dwarvish. Like, this is dumb.
It's crazy. It really is. And just the whole idea that they've brought this lady on, and I'm sure she's great at her job.
She's a lovely person. I'm sure
knocking her, but the fact that they've got to go to these lengths to try to convince people that they are really, after they've kind of really wanted to have anything to do with Tolkien, or to say that this is the story Tolkien should have written, for them now to come out and say, well, now we're going to honor what Tolkien did. Now we're going to really focus on his love of language and his use of language, and how the depth he brought to these characters. It seems really disingenuous.
It is, yeah. Agreed. I mean, you think that's what this is a response to? This article is just because everybody's like, why aren't you paying attention to any of the important stuff? And then they're just bringing up these articles going, well, we know Tolkien was a linguist. Here's how we know. You think that's what this is?
I think so. And I also think it's the same reason they quoted John Howe, who was not on the actual production of this and is not the art director for this. He's actually working with Philip Boyens on the War of the Rohirrim, but they brought in him to legitimize, which in my opinion, again, this is counterfeit Tolkien. I will never call this the Lord of the Rings of Power again. This is the Rings of Power. And it's the Rings of Prime, if I'm going to steal something from Unbearable 73 Matt. So...
Yes, there is a little bit further down as well that says, but Macpherson's job also has attributes of an archaeologist and an anthropologist. In concert with the Tolkien estate, She is preserving what Tolkien left behind and building upon what he didn't.
Oh, God. You stop, please.
Yes,
Jesus.
yes,
Here we go. So
there you go.
I'm
This
teaching
is
dialect
all-
of Tolkien, but I know better, so I'm going to finish what he started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like Payne and McKay. Just like Payne and McKay.
Stop this nonsense, please.
It goes on to say, after all, this is the Second Age, like the rest of the lore. The Rings of Power, Mephisto had to imagine how Middle-earth sounded 1,000 years prior to Peter Jackson's movies. She says, this is a different landscape. Cultures have changed. Some, not very much. Some of which are completely new. Tolkien didn't make it easy, she added. Tolkien never really opened all of the doors and cupboards in the house.
The hubris. The freaking narcissism. What is wrong with these people?
Oh, it gets worse.
This paragraph is some of the worst cringe and the most. This tells you everything you need to know about the Rings of Power. Everything. Yep. Go ahead, Purple, because this is horrifying.
So it goes on to say, he himself, I dare say, was inconsistent. He would revise a word, it would have a meaning, and have a different meaning there. Even the most developed forms of his work are not complete. It eludes in ways. I was talking about this with the showrunners at one point. It's like Tolkien was terraforming with language.
He invented his own language.
He invented the damn language. What are we talking about?
He not only wrote the book, but he wrote the languages of elves, the different dialects and things like that. And of course he was taking notes because it was his life's work. I
can't believe
what do you say to people? First of all, who appointed Payne and McKay to make this decision? I mean, I know you. Do you know how many times I've seen in my comment section that why do you care? Disney bought it; they can do whatever they want with it. Or why do you care? Amazon bought it; they can do whatever they want with it. Well, it's our good friend Maxfield Von Priestley, who I think is still in the chat, who said it a couple of months ago. And what he said is why these on-screen representations and the casting and the depictions are important is because people who look at Superman, people who look at Elrond, people who look at Master Chief, if they're not familiar with the original source material, they are imprinted by what the iconography and the cinematography and the characterization of those characters are. And now there are people who probably have never seen the Peter Jackson films or were only casual fans. And you know, it's, what is it? The Tolkien books are only behind I believe, the Bible and the Quran as far as printed copies that have been around the world in, I believe, almost 60 languages. So there are people who haven't read these books. But what this show is doing, and if we look again at what Zach's did with his analysis of the marketing and who they're targeting this show for, it to me feels a lot like they are rewriting Tolkien. They are deconstructing Tolkien. They are removing the hashtag toxic whiteness. They are vilifying, hashtag colonial, all of that stuff. And this is part of it. It's deliberate in its ESG score hitting, in my opinion.
It is, yeah. There is another paragraph that I want to get to, but first of all, let me say a big thank you and warm welcome to Cardinal Sin, who has joined us. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Really good to see you as always. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Cardinal. Thank you so much.
I can't believe that wasn't the last paragraph.
No! This is a lengthy article, and I'll probably link it in the description if anybody wants to.
That last one was a doozy. How are you going to follow that one up? Like, we're better than Tolkien. We know languages better. Next, it's like, excuse me, what just happened?
Well, it goes on to say, in the first 5 planned seasons of the Rings of Power, the show makes heavy use of Elvish, Dwarvish, and Orcish, in addition to the English flavoured with British and Irish palettes. However, foreign dubs of the show will not feature any of the fantasy languages. Only the native English track of the show will allow viewers to hear the acoustics of Tolkien.
What is she dialecting then? Wait, what? There's not going to be... What? Wait a second. There's not going to be any Dwarvish or Elvish or anything in the show? It's just all English. Did I hear that right? Is that what you just said?
The foreign dubs. The foreign dubs.
Foreign dubs, yep. So this huge Indian audience that they've just done a trailer for aren't even going to be able to experience it the way that they should be able to. Seems a little bit off to me. I don't know about you guys.
I guess they're just not worth doing it for, huh? I guess why put in the effort?
Yeah.
Right? I don't have another explanation. I'm not the ist and the phobe. That's just what it looks like to me. And add it to the list. Add it to the list.
This is bizarre, but it also goes on to say, but even the English in the Rings of Power won't have familiar accents to the audience, while the use of English is a choice for accessibility. McPherson and the team are also striving to make sure an accent doesn't take the audiences to their nanas down the road. So, for example, the Harfoots, they will have a Irish base to the accent, but they won't sound like they've walked out of a pub in Dublin, basically. So it's kind of like accent adjacent. They're not really committing. Whereas in the Peter Jackson, the Hobbits had a very rural, Midland sounding accent. It was a very broad, rounded, kind of flat accent that they gave them because that's where it was based.
I'm not entirely sure why those horrible radioactive flipper feet looking Harfoots, why they associated them with Ireland. That's it's interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. Especially since they're a diverse tribe of multicultural hobbits with an Irish accent.
See, Lenny Henry is actually from the Midlands, the same as I am, and he has a much broader Brummie accent. So I don't know how good he is at doing an Irish accent, but I would be curious to find out.
This is going to be a mess of epic proportions. Like
this is going to be cringe.
It just, the more you hear about this, they just can't resist just putting their hands all over this thing and going, oh, I think this should be this way. And just, it's going to be a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any other way to say it. You could just see it.
It's bizarre. Before we carry on, let me just say a huge thank you and great to see you as always to MB Geek Let's Talk. Thank you so much, honey. He says, happy National Treason Day. BV from this ungrateful colonial. Glad you enjoyed Texas. I did. Texas was incredible. By the way, reading No Fear Hamlet. I'm finally able to understand and I'm learning to understand Old English. Yes,
awesome.
Baby.
Awesome.
Yes, loving Hamlet. Hamlet is such a fantastic one to start with. So that's fantastic. Really, really glad that you're enjoying it. And happy 4th of July. Hope you're having a good one so far.
And if you want to change up, try Much Ado About Nothing. It's actually brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant to read, but Kenneth Branagh's cinematic version is a masterpiece to me. It's really, if you are Shakespeare phobic, it is a great place in a great film to start with him. So
yes, we've got some great comments in the chat as well. So it seems that pretty much the chat are agreeing with us. They seem to be making it up as they go along. They're using this to kind of justify what they're trying to push. But it is bizarre to bring on someone who claims to be such a massive fan of Tolkien and his work, and then to have a kind of talk down about him and say, you know what, he didn't really do what he could have done with the language, so here's what I would have done with it.
Yeah, he sucked at languages. I fixed it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But 2 paragraphs later, look at this quote. And it says, quote, "It's hugely important because the language was his highest, greatest passion," waxes McPherson on Tolkien's languages. Quote, "I started writing on the top of my call sheet for The Hobbit years ago. The languages came first. Tolkien created languages and then the world to put them in. Even in the Silmarillion, he talks about the fact the world was created through song. Song came first." Doesn't that counteract and contradict what she said about needing to fix it and that it was all over the place and broken and only Payne and McKay could come in and make sense of this gobbledygook that this crazy old man named Tolkien made?
Yes. In a word, yes, it does. Every article is full of contradictions. They talk around in circles. It's like, oh, Tolkien's great, but this is what I would do, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it this way because Tolkien didn't finish, and he didn't tell us anything about it, so we're going to make it up. But Tolkien was great. He told us everything. It's like, what the? You just said
yes.
That's
ultimately, you have to blame the Tolkien Society for allowing this to get this far.
Yeah.
Well, they've been infiltrated big time. All you had to do was see that all those panels. It's a mess. As soon as what was Shippy? What was it? The Shippy was the one that was supposed to be holding the front for this, and they let him go. As soon as you knew it was over, as soon as they let him go, it was just like, nope, done.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Be
just
afraid.
Quickly, sorry, honey. We've got another super chat from a good friend, Cardinal Sin. Great to see you as always, Cardinal. He says, please remember that this is the agenda of the extreme left, not classical liberals. Absolutely.
Agreed.
Yes.
Hail, Thomas Jefferson, brother. I'm in the same boat.
Yep.
Classical liberal.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is an ideology that is being pushed. This isn't a liberal ideology. Absolutely, you are very correct. So thank you, Cardinal Sin. I don't know, guys. Are you feeling more reassured by this?
I feel great. I feel this is going to be the best ever. Their languages.
Hashtags. Stop the Amazon hate. You guys, they bought it. They can do whatever they want with it. It's not
exactly
made for you. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Well, can't you say something nice about things? Why do all you do is rage farm?
Well, I feel part of me feels bad for these young actresses. They who knows if this is like all their viewpoints, or they're just playing. It's like, well, I want to act in Hollywood. I have to be this sort of way. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, it's part of everything else that's going on in the world, and you know what I'm talking about. I mean, this is not an accident. This is not an isolation. All of these things are occurring at the exact same time and are part of a, well, what would be the right word? A great narrative.
Oh, I thought you were going to say depression. Sorry.
No. Well, there's that
as well.
That's the intended outcome. But yeah.
I think this quote that you had highlighted, Salty, really kind of
bring it back.
Really kind of brings it home, doesn't it? I just wanted to touch on it because you're absolutely right with it. There we go. Let me bring that back up. So yeah, this kind of cements pretty much what we were thinking. So she goes on to say, it's all coming home to a landscape we haven't explored before. We're on parts of the map we've never seen that Tolkien himself presents as an interpreter. His traveler didn't necessarily go to all these places. For us to be in undiscovered country is a thrill for anyone who has a sense of exploration in them. So, in other words, we're going to make it up as we go along.
Well, in essence, that's not but we just don't trust you people, to actually do what he would like. You're not exploring those territories in the name of Tolkien. You're exploring those territories in your name and saying, I'm going to make it better.
Yeah. Daniel in the chat says talking in circles and word salads. Clearly liars. That I wouldn't argue with that one.
100%.
Yeah. And then we've got Alf Jeebus who says, I'll watch Skinwalker Ranch instead.
Same. Right there with you. Absolutely. But I thought it was an interesting one. It's not one that I've seen them kind of take before, the whole idea of linguistics and language. They've talked about the races, but for them to really kind of be pushing this whole idea of language and how it's going to be used, I thought it was an interesting take that they've done. So thank you for pulling that up, Salty. Appreciate it.
No problem. It's the same thread. You can tell that the same corporate talking points are there. To me, this dovetails what Payne and McKay said, where they said, you need to look at this show, make space on your Tolkien shelf for the Peter Jackson trilogy, for the books. And because we're going to make something that's not actually that at all, but it's got the name Tolkien on it. But that's it. That's their selling point. In none of this did they say anything about Peter Jackson, about building on the world and the iconography and the characterizations and the quality of the world building that we saw in those films. I mean, I've made this joke, but it's not really a joke anymore. I think it's a prophecy that for those of you who watched Wheel of Time, yes, I'm going to go down this road. You remember the poor production quality. You remember the choppy stories with big buildups and no payoffs. I think that's what we're going to get in this Lord of the Rings thing, which isn't Tolkien.
Well, which
not
is
Lord of the Rings.
Well, and I thought I was having deja vu because I thought I had seen this article, and there's a Wheel of Time article doing the same thing with linguistics and stuff like that. It's the same deal. So
yeah.
You're just speechless. I don't.
Mordor 90210. Very well played.
Yeah, that's it. There it is.
Because you had Emmons Field. For those of you who know the time, 90210.
When they finally release the trailer, somebody needs to overlay the 90210 theme song over it and see how it matches up.
I will do it. That would be awesome.
Well,
we've done that where, remember, I did that a couple of months ago where we overlaid the teaser trailer music and the voiceover, and it lined up exactly with The Force Awakens. It was the same thing. It's the same female strong character, the same color palette,
same beats.
Same beats. Yeah. So we do have that other article on Philippa Boynes whenever you'd like me to take it, Purple.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to be the last one that we covered today, but I thought we would end it on a much more positive, because this is something that people seem to be really excited about, and I know I am as well. Of all the projects that are coming, the War of the Rohirrim really does look like something that's worth getting excited about.
It does.
So we have got executive producer Philippa Boyens is pretty pleased with the casting of the Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim. Awesome. So she said, it's exciting. We've been sitting on it for a little bit, but it all seems to come together in an organic way, which is what you want, I think. Suddenly, the right people come to the role, which is pretty cool. So we've now got the news that Brian Cox will be Halmarand and Miranda Otto will return as well, which is fantastic news.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
I was in love with Miranda Otto for decades.
Yeah.
And then I made the mistake of reading her social media comments. And
oh dear.
I've
never looked into it.
we had a big falling out. The tabloids didn't cover it, but it was a pretty big one. So yeah,
man, you can't do that, man. You gotta shut that part of you. No social media, man.
Yeah,
Can't do that.
It's my toxic masculinity.
It is. I'm right there with you, bro. Yeah.
I'm just patriarchy in me. It's like this.
I need to unlearn how to read. That's what I need to do.
It's true.
But I'm actually really excited about this, and I think I know this sounds stupid. I really wish that the War of the Rohirrim was coming out before Amazon Lord of the Rings, because it would show just how excited people are. But I think it works the other way as well. Having Rings of Power come out first, and then everybody can really get behind this and show. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, do you think Rings of Power is going to hurt this? Because I've read some stuff on this, and I think it has the potential, especially it's animated, right? I mean, this is the animation.
Yes.
So it could be fantastic. I mean, some of I'm not into anime like some of it's. I'm not saying it's bad. Some of it I can't connect with, right? But Castlevania and some other stuff that I've seen that's done in this anime style, this could be really, really good, and I'm sort of curious if Rings of Power is going to hurt this.
Yeah, and hail to Brandon, anime guy in the chat, brother. This is your forte. This is your sweet spot. If you could make a video on what you know about the people behind this, I would love that. Not to tell you how to run your channel. It's just I respect your opinion on anime, and I'd love to find out who these people are.
Absolutely,
Brandon. I just haven't found an anime that calls to me, I guess. I don't know. My daughter has walls and walls of manga and anime, so I get it.
in GETTR Stargate. I know a lot of people are kind of on the same boat with you. It says I'm not going to watch Rings of Power. I trust one of you will do videos on it that I can watch, because I'm not going to watch that abomination. Absolutely. I don't want to speak for Salty, but I think we've got a lot planned for when the Rings of Power does finally drop. We're really going to hit this one hard.
Yeah. And this is your channel. I'm not trying to shill my own stuff, but I'm going to be working with a lot of different creators to talk about the Lord of the Rings and Tolkien, as well as The Hobbit. Why? Because what I want to do before the show comes out is talk to people about why they love Tolkien. When they think of Tolkien, what do they think of? And what characters and qualities resonated with them? And I wanted to show, before they start calling us ists and phobes and all these other things and not diverse, that there is a huge worldwide global fandom that existed long before I was ever born. And we're completely being shoved aside for a mythical audience that doesn't exist, but that their ESG scores tells them they have to market to. So you're absolutely right about that, Purple Valkyrie.
But they're not marketing it very well, because as we've seen, there's no merchandise, and I don't think there's going to be any merchandise. Can you imagine any figures of these new characters coming out the way that we had the incredible figures from Toy Biz?
At this point,
look what I got back there. Like, I just got that at Fan Expo. That is the what's his name, Freeman guy from The Hobbit.
Yeah.
It's a 12-inch,
yes, Martin Freeman, yes,
with a glowing sting sword. I just swapped out that character. But like we talked about when we were at the Dallas Fan Expo, they were selling out of every single thing Lord of the Rings that had to do with Peter Jackson's trilogy. And we talked to a bunch of different vendors, and they said they wish they would have known that there would have been these Lord of the Rings panels, because they were inundated with people asking for the Lord of the Rings merchandise. And that doesn't mean the Rings of Power. They're two very, very different things.
Yes. So, guys, if you are collecting any of these, I would say snap them while you can, because I think the cost is going to jump up when Rings of Power finally drops.
And Steve, you saw this with the Wheel of Time, the graphic novels, anything that was hard to get a hold of before related to Robert Jordan's works, especially the comic book by, I always forget his name.
Dixon, yes.
Dixon, by Chuck Dixon. Any of those books are the first one you can find, but I think it's $100 now. And then anything after volume 2 is $500 or $600 bucks.
I actually didn't have an opportunity. Well, I don't know that I even knew about them, to be honest. So I went to go get them, and I couldn't. I actually, OBG70 Mike had to, he sent me a digital copy so I could take a look. But I'm not, I couldn't get a hold of it.
This is $100 now, beaten up, and the ones after this are $500. And this is what I'm referring to. You can still find this very easily. This is The Hobbit by Chuck Dixon. It is a beautiful graphic novel, done faithfully. And Chuck Dixon said he did not put any language words that Tolkien himself did not write in these. Get these, please. Anything like that that's Lord of the Rings from before this time.
Absolutely. But just quickly to jump back to this, she kind of goes on to talk about the importance of telling stories as in an oral tradition. So Miranda Otto is going to be the narrator, which I think is a fantastic idea. So she's the one telling the story. It's going to be told kind of like a bard's tale, which I think fits incredibly well, and it really does kind of fit in with the whole idea of Tolkien and that these stories are passed down.
Yeah.
And it's also a very kind of English tradition as well, telling stories.
Yeah, and this is somebody who really cares about the lore. They're talking about the deep lore of Rohan and different characters we have not seen before, but this is the concept art. And tell me,
dude, that's so cool.
Tell me you don't want that on a t-shirt, a coffee mug.
That would look so good framed.
Yeah, it looks so good. That is a wallpaper. That is an everything right there. Just give me a mouse pad with that right now. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Are Aomir and all them back there? I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So it's The Hobbit by Chuck Dixon. Absolutely. If you could pull that up against Salty, I'll make you full screen so they can see what it looks like.
This is a later edition of it. There are also individual older copies of this. I'm going to try and thumb it open to another page, but again, it's beautifully done. It feels like you're in Middle Earth. Chuck Dixon has done many interviews on this, where he talks about the importance of representing Tolkien's work and not his own. So, and again, this is Chuck Dixon also. Wow, why am I out of focus? I got to break my camera. Yeah, there we go. That Chuck Dixon also did The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. Yep. Again, this one you can probably now get for $100 now, but the other ones you can see the attention to detail in this bad boy. Buy your physical media now. Really.
I wish I had those. God damn.
No.
Yes,
eBay.
I've got the Hobbit one, and it is beautiful. It really is worth picking up if you can get it. So highly recommend that. But yeah, you've been talking about this artwork, and this is incredible as well. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this, because I think this will be a fantastic palette cleanser to what's coming before it.
I hope. Yeah. Do we know it's like Carl Urban? Is Éomer going to be in it, since Éowyn's going to be in it too, and all that, or do we have any detail? Like, is it possible Carl Urban will be actually voicing Éomer again and stuff like that? Do we know anything about that or no?
That would be awesome, but
yes, we don't know yet. They've given kind of vague kind of where they're going with the story, but I think they're going to keep the cast a lot closer to their chest. They're going to kind of slowly release who's going to be playing these roles, but I think that's a fine way to do it. But you know, I'm just really looking forward to this, and the fact that it's animated as well, you know, brings us back to the original Hobbits and the original Lord of the Rings that people love, and it's something that I think fans really do latch onto.
Everybody loves but Flaccid Phoenix. Unsubscribe to Flaccid Phoenix. He says horrible things about the Rankin Bass 1977 Hobbit. So.
And there's some more beautiful artwork a little bit further down as well.
Oh, yep. I'm getting there. Hold on. Hold your horses. Yeah, this was it's hard not to be excited. None of us want to be down about this. None of us want to rage farm. Look at this.
Look at that.
Oh,
that's
dude.
incredible.
Whoa, that is so good, man. I am ready for it.
Wow, dude.
Like, God, it gives, like, these are the things that sort of like crush us for the other thing. Because you look at this, you're like, this is awesome, right? I mean, you just look at that, just that one frame, and we're all just like geeking out because look at it.
And this is the part I don't get. How can you call me a racist, an istophobe, a misogynist, a patriarchal, whatever, a white supreme? Because I like quality, because I like attention to detail, because I like people who love the source material and want to tell the story of the author or the creator and not insert their third-rate counterfeit bullshit into stuff. Look at our reactions to this.
Well,
it's because it's good. That's why we're happy.
And then the other thing is like the anime, just this one screen, the animation, the drawing on this shows that whoever is doing this has actually watched the trilogy and paid attention, because if you look at the elephant and the people writing on it, it very much looks like what is in the movies. So you know, they're drawing you back to that, so you get that feeling of, oh man, this is gonna, you know, pay homage and absorb some of what was in the movies that we love so much. I'm ready for this. Look at that. I mean, it's so good.
It really does. And a little bit further down, she also kind of teases that maybe we're going to see a lot more familiar characters kind of brought in as cameos. So maybe we might get to see Saruman the White in this as well.
Ooh.
Now, I'm a little bit skeptical about that, because I can't imagine anybody other than Christopher Lee obviously voicing him. But look at this incredible artwork. And these are just concept pictures, you know, for what they're going to give us.
So good. That's the rope.
So beautiful.
Oh my god.
We're not gonna get 1% of this in the Rings of Power. We're not.
No.
Man, can you just imagine this battle being animated? Like, I'm just thinking about it right now. Just all the cool like scenes we're gonna get. Just a horse charge into the elephant. I mean, good lord, the potential is off the charts for this
In
thing.
love of the source material, with technical mastery, with artists who are fantastic. I mean, all of the things that I'm seeing in anime for shows and different clips from things look absolutely amazing. I would assume they're not going to stylize it in a way that contradicts what we already understand to be the feel and look of Middle Earth. And that is not just the Jacksonian trilogy, although let's be honest, that would obviously influence it, just like Steve talked about. But this is epic. This is the big world that we all wanted. If somebody were to take on and remake more Tolkien material, this is the big world that we wanted. And Jackson, he captured it from the moment we got those trailers for the Fellowship of the Ring. Remember, with the Fellowship going up the mountainside and that long shot down of the mountains all throughout New Zealand? That's all we want.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Brandon says, Purple Valkyrie, I have more details about the show. I can share. 3 minutes is all I need. Do you mind if Brandon jumps on for the last couple of minutes, guys? Would that be okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I guess. Yes. I'll kick him a link. You guys keep carrying on with the show.
All right. We'll have to be brief, but thank you, Brandon. Really appreciate that. But yeah, this is a fantastic, and the story that they talk about as well is it's a very human story. It's not a vast, they focus on one particular story, and it's more about family. It's the intricacies of that, and I'm really, really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be something to enjoy.
Well, I hope it's successful, and then you could just do that, explore different regions of Middle Earth through these anime series. So you got, the War Harem, and then maybe do something in Gondor. Hell, you could even have something going on in Mordor, or I mean, there's all it's such a large world. There's a million things you could do. So just like different societies or different people, or you get an elf one, some elf. What's going on? The potential is endless if they do this right. It could be amazing.
There really is. Yeah, this could be something big.
Good stories. We just want good stories, and we want people who come to it with love, not talking about how they're going to reinterpret or do something that Tolkien couldn't do, or that you're a racist if you like that. First of all, don't call us names, because we're the freaking audience and the paying customer. I really want this to be good. I really, really, really want this to be good. And Brandon, you have the link, brother. So.
Yes, Brandon, I will just bring you on in just a second, but let me say a huge thank you to Daniel. Great to see you, Daniel. He says, all the people who actually love Tolkien ended up on this project. Guess where the leftovers are working?
Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones? Wait, no. Star Wars, Disney Star Wars, with Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant.
All of the above, yes.
No, wait, Star Trek Discovery. No, that's what's so crazy about the Rings of Power, is that they were so desperate to find people who were qualified to write for a fantasy science fiction show. They took the editor of Star Trek Discovery and put him on the Rings of Power.
The editor.
The editor.
Yeah. All right, let me welcome to the panel, Brandon, the anime guy. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Glad you made it home okay. Hello, Salty and Pod T D Steve. Hot D. I apologize. Even though it's noon for me, I've only been up for maybe an hour, so today's been an extremely lazy day. But I just saw this and was glad I was able to hop in and just did some quick research. So, The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, is being done by New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers Animation, since New Line is part of Warner Brothers. The director is Kenji Kamiyama. Now, here is what he has done. Dating back to 1987, he worked on the backgrounds for DuckTales. He also did background work for Patlabor. He was art director for Burn Up, Rouge and Z, Genocyber, all sorts of other art director stuff, cutting his teeth, getting into it. And then the big thing where he took off was in the 2000s. He was the chief writer, the script, storyboard, series composition, and a director for Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex Second Gig, and also the Solid State Society movie. since then, he's gone on to do other directions. He's done 009 Re-Cyborg, Call of Justice, and he currently is the manga co-director of Ultraman, the current manga run of Ultraman. And he's also done the current run of Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex 2045. He was the director of Star Wars Visions, The Ninth Jedi. He also is co-director of Blade Runner Black Lotus.
So that all being said, pretend I don't know a damn thing about anime other than stuff from the 80s, and I have watched Castlevania, and I have a long list of recommendations. Is that in your opinion, Brandon, is that a good thing? Are there some reasons that have some yellow flashing lights or some red flashing lights with his resume or CV?
With him, no, nothing. Nothing on here gives me any pause or question. Since he's the one that's directing this, the work he's done and the stuff that he's worked on is top notch, grade AAA quality beef. He is good at what he does, and I can see the progression in his work throughout the years, and all the stuff that he originally started on was great stuff. So yeah, I don't have any questions about him. And then as far as the screenplay by Phoebe Gintz, she was actually in the Hobbit films uncredited, and she hasn't done a whole lot of other stuff, but what I was able to find is she is definitely passionate about Tolkien, not the message.
Okay. I think those are very, very positive.
That's what we want to hear. Yes.
So, and since it's being done by Warner Brothers now, with Zaslav being in charge, this was only fast-tracked back in 2021. So if the butcher of Warner Brothers didn't like what he was seeing, he would have no problem giving it the axe, because he's given a whole bunch of other stuff the axe.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Of course, selling off the CW for nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Well, Purple Valkyrie, I know that you came on your own show with a really wicked cold, and you've crushed it. This was such a fun conversation. I think you guys in chat see that too. Brandon, thanks for that. Thanks for those takes.
Yeah,
you're so welcome.
Really
I didn't know that you had a cold.
Thank
you get feeling better, and kick the cold square in the balls. Get rid of it.
All
right, you all. You take care, and you get feeling better. We'll see you later.
Take care, Brandon. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely, guys. I'm going to have to, unfortunately, wrap up because my voice is starting to crack. But before I do, guys, what have you got coming up? Because I know you two are really busy. First of all, congratulations to Salty for smashing 2,500 subscribers. Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, it's thanks to getting to work with other fellow content creators. And of course, it's always due to the chat, people who watch the videos, like and share and comment. So I am very honored and humbled. Thank you. 3,000, here we come.
Yes, just around the corner. And will we be having a Tuesday night show tomorrow?
Yes, that's my plan.
Awesome.
I'm still recovering from the Dallas Fan Expo, but we will have a show tomorrow night. Absolutely. I'll get those links up.
Fantastic. And guys, if you haven't checked out the stream that Salty did yesterday to do with Amazon Lord of the Rings, please do. Him and his panel had a fantastic look at the at Amazon cutting corners with their advertising once more, which I thought was very funny.
And again, all credit goes to Zach7. Please go check out his video where he does a side-by-side comparison of the promo trailer that came out 2 weeks ago that was focused on a young African-American boy in America, and then the new trailer, which was targeted at the Indian audience, which just reuses every single person and extra and background in it.
Everything. It's terrible.
Crazy. And let me say a huge congratulations to Prophet of the Dragon as well. Smashing through 1K, getting monetized. We are proud of you. Well
Thank
done.
you. No, you guys, man. You guys are humbled, and thank you for all your help getting me there. Now I got to figure out what the heck I'm going to do from here. I have no idea. I never thought I'd be even close. So it's like, what do I do now? So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I got to do a 1K stream at some point. Hopefully, probably soon. I keep I keep getting, it's like, when are you gonna stream next? Like, all right, I'll just do it. My schedule is so weird, so it's like I just got to do it. It's terrible because it's always short notice when I do it, but I got to get myself together, to maybe put together a schedule of some sort, so I have some routine. But yeah, just having fun, bashing Wheel of Time show, loving the Wheel of Time books, and you know,
Oh yeah,
fantastic gameplay. Yes.
oh yeah.
Yeah, got it. My son's gone for a few weeks, so he can't make me look bad right now. But he'll be back and we'll be into that. He's already said that he wants to do it on a consistent basis. Even if when we finish the Wheel of Time game, we'll find something else to do, because it's just it's good, clean fun, and everybody's a very good sport when he's on, and he loves it. So yeah, we're gonna keep doing
awesome.
that.
He's a fantastic
He is
kid.
like I am blessed with three. Two of if you've watched any of my content, you've sort of met. One won't come on camera ever if I force them, but my kids, I am blessed with three amazing, wonderful children. Yeah, just gonna keep trucking along, figure this YouTube thing out, I guess. I don't know.
After 2 years, I'm still doing the same thing. Yeah. So yes,
I know. Like, I know what I'm doing. Obviously not. Yeah.
But let me say a huge thank you to my fantastic co-hosts. A huge thank you to Brandon as well for jumping on. Really appreciate your takes. So thank you, Brandon. And a massive thank you to everybody who joined us in the chat today. I know this was a bit of an impromptu one, guys, and I know it's the 4th of July. So a huge thank you to everyone who took time out to spend it with us. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
Happy 4th of July, and God bless America.
God bless America. Be safe out there
well
today.
Said.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, guys, we'll be back very soon. We've got more videos coming out. A huge thank you to everybody who sent super chats today, and to Cardinal Sin for joining. Really appreciate it. I will put the links to everybody's channels and the latest videos as well down below. So please check them out. In the meantime, and we will see you guys very, very soon. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe. And we will see you again very soon. Take care, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.